Hi everyone, I'm Ben.
And I'm Mike, and we write songs together under the name The Kelly Line.
By the way, Mike's my dad.
Which of course makes us a father-son songwriting duo. And when we're not writing songs, we're generally chatting about writing songs. And we thought it might be fun to share some of these thoughts with you.
This week we're talking about our new single, The Ballad of the Bee, which, by the time you hear this, will be available to listen to wherever you get your music from. So Mike, tell me about The Ballad of the Bee.
Oh, you're not getting off that lightly. People won't realise what you've just said to me about because I hadn't pressed the record button. So this is the second take because we started and I said, but I haven't started recording. Sorry, say that again. Ballad of the Bee, was it?
Yeah, tell me about The Ballad of the Bee, please.
Well, Ballad of the Bee. Wow, it's our new single, isn't it? So it's exciting.
Yeah,
but
it'll be out by the time this is out.
Yeah, I know. I'm really looking forward to it. But it was written about 5 years ago. I think it was 2015. I think.
Was it written before or after the first EP?
After, I think, but it was before you.
2015, I think, would be.
Yeah, about right. It was written before you went to university. It was a summer's day.
It was, yeah.
And I remember it really well. We witnessed, did we not? Literally, a bee being trapped in a spider's web.
Yeah, do you want to tell us the story of the story behind The Ballad of the Bee?
Well, yeah, it really was like watching a David Attenborough documentary.
Paint me a picture, Michael. Paint me a picture.
But in real time. I remember the first thing I noticed was a noise. It was a bit like somebody turning on a hairdryer, and it lasted for about 10 seconds or so, and then it went off. And then it came back again, and there was a noise, and it went off. And I thought, what the hell is that? And then I noticed there was a bee trapped in a spider's web, and the noise was the bee flapping its wings trying to escape.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Well, come here, watch it. Look at this." And we watched a bee succumbing to a spider's web.
For all of you who are worried about animal rights here, it was in the skylight that's like 10 foot up in the air. Like there was no possible way we could have saved this bee.
Yeah, no, I think
we didn't just leave it to its fate in a cruel and detached manner.
No, I think that's important to say. But the other thing is, by the time we'd actually seen it, it was too late. Yeah. It was too late anyway, wasn't it? I mean, It was already so much entwined in this web, and the more it struggled, the more it got entwined in the web. It was kind of...
Or so we thought, because it managed to escape. Briefly. It tasted freedom one last time.
It thought it had, but it obviously hadn't. I mean, it was just kind of like we were saying. It's just inevitable. I mean, the only thing I didn't know, really, was how long it would take. I mean, you kind of knew what was going to happen eventually, but wow, weird. So we chatted about it and kind of like it was grisly watching, wasn't it? It was.
Yeah, it was not the most regular inspiration for a song, but
it is important to point out there was literally nothing we could
nothing either of us could have done.
Nothing we could do, and we went out for a meal. And,
yes, we did.
I remember you and I thinking, do you know there's a song here because it was just such a metaphor, wasn't it, for becoming trapped, struggling. But actually realising there was no way out. Once you were in, there was just literally no way out, and
I can't remember how long it was between the event, the bee getting trapped, and us going out. But I remember that you had like a significant chunk of lyrics written before this meal.
Yeah.
Because then I remember after this meal, this lovely pub meal. Oh, I'm hungry now. You and me power walked home ahead of the rest of everyone else. Just like we had an idea for the song, we knew how it was going to go, and so we were like, we've got to get home before we forget it,
and write it down. Yeah. My recollection of my bit writing it in terms of lyrics was they just came tumbling out. I don't recall this as being a struggle, and I don't recall it taking a long time to. I just remember sitting down and just going, if there's a start, there'll be an end. Bang. And that chorus, I mean, that chorus just came out. I mean, I paused there because I'm just assuming you're going to give me a blast of the chorus.
I will. Yep. The music stops, the curtain drops as the ending starts to begin. There's no debate, there's no escape, there's just no way that we can win. Seductive weapon, deadly trap. Once we're in, there's no way back.
Yeah, cool.
I remember the music for that was, up until that point, we had been primarily writing more folky affair. And I remember that for this one, you were like, it needs to have a bit of an edge to it because, you know, it's a song about inevitability and death, and it was inspired by quite a grisly event. And I remember that I had recently discovered, this was back in the days when I wasn't a hugely proficient guitarist, I realised that you could play a C chord 2 frets up and get a D11 chord, which sounded extremely cool to my ears.
I'm excited now.
The whole like chorus and the intro to the song and the chorus and everything else just came from that sliding the same chord up, which I felt was quite cool. But from there, we decided we wanted to make something a bit rockier than what we'd previously done. Up until
definitely.
that point, I think we'd considered ourselves a purely folk outfit.
Yeah.
Really.
Well, to be fair, at the time you were basically singing on your own, weren't you? It was acoustic. It was you know you didn't have a band around you at the time. I think I actually think you played this rather. You sang this song in the first ever Kelly Line gig.
Yes, I did, and it was the only song we got feedback from on that night.
Good feedback. We got lots of feedback. It just wasn't very good.
Yeah, feedback from the speakers. I remember someone was like, I really like that one.
Yeah.
It was the one that people remembered.
Yeah. Do you know, somebody actually said, I really like that one. Have you recorded it? When are you going to record it? I said, we haven't recorded it yet, but we will soon. 5 years later.
2015.
5 years it took us. Yeah.
That took us a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it nearly appeared, didn't it? It nearly appeared on a couple of projects.
Yeah, I was about to say, speaking of recording, since it was written, it's nearly appeared on most releases we've done, like most EPs or most albums in like various forms. We've been tweaking it for a long time because we had like the kind of solo acoustic version. Like the song hasn't really changed in terms of the actual structure or the lyrics or the chords or anything. It's been like how it's performed.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there was not a slow version, but slower than it is today. We nearly recorded for some of the early stuff before the first album. Like, you know, the ancient Kelly Line texts.
There was a slower version with harmonica as well. That I actually quite like that, but I like this version. I like this version better.
I seem to remember with that one, I kind of messed up the recording, and it sounded a little bit robotic. And rather than try again, we just decided that it didn't really suit the slow version as well as it could. And we had another song which we thought would fit in that place quite nicely.
But then there's a very much a lull in the history of this song. You're doing gigs, but it's not really appearing on too many set lists. Not least because you're playing solo acoustic, and it's not really a solo acoustic song. And then all of a sudden, you start playing with Connor, Jack, Yestin. You start playing as a band. Yeah,
and it's appeared in, especially going forward. Or in the later years of us playing together as a band, it's appeared in quite a lot of set lists just because Jack and Connor really both like it. To begin with, we only had like a set's worth of material that we could play, and we were swapping like one song in and out every so often. And then just the more we played that, the more they were like, it's got to appear in the set list. It has so much energy live that even if it's not as new and exciting to us, it is still new and exciting to them, and the energy really carries it through.
Yeah, what you're saying there is that nobody is the slightest bit interested in the lyrics. They just like lots of energy and lots of noise.
I mean, the lyrics are. It's about a beat. It's an interesting song.
It's sobering though, isn't it? I mean, when I was watching that thing, I remember you know that old saying: "There's only two things certain in life, and one is taxes and one is death."
Yeah.
But that's like when you're born, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
Full stop, and that's at the opening line. If there's a start, there'll be an end.
Yeah.
But it's quite a sobering kind of thought, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not all rainbows and butterflies. It's quite it's sung quite happily, but it's not necessarily a happy sentiment.
Well, there's rainbows and butterflies in between.
Yeah.
The start and the inevitability. It is about the inevitability of death, but it's also about temptation and succumbing to temptation, possibly against your better judgment. But then when you get sucked in and you get trapped, there's not too much you can do. But you're right. There was when you started putting it into set lists, it generally got quite a good reaction, didn't it?
Yeah, I played it quite a lot solo at Porter's open mic as well as a band. And that also got quite a good reaction because it's just got quite a lot of energy.
Yeah, and the energy comes across because I'm right in thinking, aren't I, that earlier today you recorded the song Uncome Reich.
Yes, I did, seeing as we are well, you're not, but the rest of us are based in Wales. Connor and Iestyn are both Welsh and Welsh speakers, and me and Jack have kind of chosen to make our homes here. We thought it made sense to try doing it in Welsh, which I assume you might be about to prod me to do.
Well, I listened to it about an hour ago, and I was like going, wow, I love this. I mean, I have no idea how good all the pronunciation is. I don't want to put you under the spotlight here, but
Iestyn signed off on it, so if it's wrong, it's his fault.
But you definitely get the sense of energy, don't you? So, go on, give us a blast on Cymraeg.
Cool. Down music I ben, dath Lenin lawr, fel mae'r diwedd yn dechrau. Does dim dadl, does dim dianc, does dim ffordd I ni ennill. Diwyhedolus yn denu ni, pen i'r ydym iawn, does dim ffordd mas. It's incredibly fun.
Diane Benjamin.
Thanks to Luke and Luke Evans for doing the first translation, and Iestyn for doing the tweaks and for also recording it so I could copy him phonetically.
Do you know, sometimes
a lifesaver
for a song that's got such an incredible kind of stimulus, if you like. But for a song that we wrote so long ago and then just put on the back burner, really, didn't we? To be honest,
yeah,
it's going to be. It's one of the first songs we ever wrote. Sorry, it's one of the early songs. It's definitely the first song you've recorded in Welsh, and I doubt it's going to.
Yeah.
It's not. I doubt it's going to be the last, given as you say.
No, I've already messaged Iestyn saying, are there any songs that you want to do, particularly? And then also I've got ideas for the future. It's definitely something I want to do more of because it's really fun.
Well, it's fair enough.
I even downloaded the Duolingo app so I can learn Welsh a bit more rather than just repeating phonetically what Iestyn has written down for me.
Yeah, good for you. I mean, you're a Welsh-based band. Two of you are Welsh speakers anyway, so I think that's really it. So this is going to become a song that's, in actual fact, a first on for many things, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then you hit me. You hit me one evening with a message and just saying, "I got an idea, Dad." Or
I did. It wasn't even my idea, though. I remember it was driving home from a gig. It might well have been Mr. Wolf's in Bristol, a gig where it was me, Connor and Jack doing like an acoustic set. And we played Ballad, and as per usual, both of them loved it. And they were like, why not do a song from the spider's perspective? And I was like, ooh, that's cool. What's the kind of angle for the spider doing it? And they were like, the spider was just trying to feed its kids kind of thing. I was like, oh, so like, it's just nature, not human nature, because it's a spider, but
spider nature.
Yeah, and so I passed this on to you.
Yeah, you did.
What do you think?
Well, I was speechless at first because you were kind of like, what would the spider have said, or what would be the spider's version? And we went on to write Arachne's response, but which is. I'm almost pinching myself here that I'm sitting here talking to you about a song about a bee, and then what would the spider have said in return? But I initially was like, oh, hang on a minute. I was really worried that it sounded a bit cheesy.
Yeah, it could very easily be. Seeing as the Ballad of the Bee is like, it's about a bee, but it's not really. You don't have to read it that way. It's about inevitability.
Yeah.
If you have a song that is a bit more directly influenced by the spider-bee story, you might end up with something a bit childish.
Exactly. And then I suddenly thought that the when you said it's about the spider trying to feed its kids, I mean it's nature, isn't it? And then I was thinking, well, it's another song about inevitability. That's just not human nature, but spider nature. My one thought was there's got to be a contrast. So if we've got a rocky song sung by the band, Arachne's response needs to be a solo acoustic or a stripped back, not solo necessarily, but a stripped back acoustic, slower kind of version, and we end up with Arachne's response. So give us a chorus.
A chorus of Arachne's response, of course. I mean, just remind myself to play it. It's just in my nature to nurture the way that I do. You know that it's true. And of all of the people I've heard, I promise I never meant to hurt you. I think much in the same way that you had written kind of the words to the chorus of the Ballad of the Bee, and then we took it together and kind of it came quite easily from there. I wrote the chorus of Arachne's response. Basically, we'd been tossing around the idea of doing a spider song, but we hadn't found an in yet. Yeah. We were just kind of waiting for that. And then I remember sending you a voice note. I remember it was really cold, because I remember sitting in my bedroom in my old house, wrapped in several jumpers and a blanket. And I was like, I've got an idea, and just knocked it out and sent that across. And then the rest of the song came pretty quickly.
Well, I think the key line was, "It's just in my nature to nurture." And I think once you...
proud of that one.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great line. I think as soon as you gave me that, I was going, yeah, I kind of see this. Do you know, I had almost got the spider sort of saying to the bee, look, sorry, mate, it's not personal, but I got to eat.
Yeah.
And do you know what I likened it to? I likened it to people. And I know some people are vegetarians, and I completely respect that. But a lot of people aren't. And I likened it to people looking at a field in spring of newly born lambs and going, oh, aren't they cute? Aren't they lovely? And yet they would then go to the pub on a Sunday and have roast lamb for lunch. It's not personal. It's just the way it is. And I completely understand and respect the fact that some people don't do that. They're vegetarian, but as I say, a lot of people do. And I suddenly started thinking, actually, this is about, it's just the way that it is. And then you end up with, from your great line, it's just in my nature to nurture. You're right, the lyrics came quite quickly then, and we end up with the middle eight of, it's just the way that it is.
It's just the way that it is, the way that it was, and the way that it always will be. When the saints become sinner, the loser, the winner, we both know, my friend, some things are just meant to be. It doesn't help for quite a serious sounding song that B is such an easy pun to make.
Oh no, we're not going there. We're not going there. We're really not, because we could do this to death, couldn't we?
We really could. But yeah, I really like that middle eight musically, and it's nice that with both of these songs, it was kind of one of us would come up with the lyrical impetus for the song, and then the other would go oh, this is coming really quickly. It was just one of us found the in, and then we kind of ran with it very smoothly. It just kind of came out.
You'd almost think we were songwriting partners, wouldn't you? You really would, and we'd actually done this before. I find that middle eight, I sing rather badly, but when I'm kind of when I'm walking on the mountains, for example, I do find myself singing that a lot. I think I'd go as far as to say, I'm going to ask you how your throat is at the minute, because I think I was going to say the middle eight of both songs, I actually really quite like the middle eight, even though I like the chorus and I like the refrain and all that kind of stuff. And I know you really push it, don't you, on Ballad of the Bee?
Yeah, well, for the end of it, going into the penultimate chorus, the middle eight goes from a really enticing, appealing, the moment is fleeting, quite downbeat, to beguiling, misleading, the spider needs feeding, outside a shell. It goes from a very downbeat thing to, in fact, in the record it's just acoustic guitar, and then everything else comes back for that the spider needs feeding build.
Yeah, so I like the middle eights of both songs, and presumably you're gonna play out with the Ballad of the Bee track.
Yep, I'm gonna play out with Ballad of the Bee. You'll all be able to hear Arachne's response, but I think Ballad of the Bee is what I really want to hear that now.
And we're gonna go with, and I know you're now multilingual. Are you? Are there any plans to release it in French or is...
No, there isn't. Because
I
just laugh too much.
Yeah, leave it there. But
we're going to play out with the English version.
You're going to play out with the English version of Ballad of the Bee. So can I introduce it? How's
of
that?
Course.
Okay.
After you.
So the Kelly line with the Ballad of the Bee. Thanks for listening, everyone, and we'll catch you again soon.
Hope you enjoy.
Music stops, the curtain drops as the ending starts to begin. There's no debate, there's no escape, there's just no way that we can win. Seductive weather, deadly trap. Once we're in, there's no way back. We all know when we begin, this all must end. That time will win. There is no rhyme, no reason why. Ours is just to do and die. The music stops, the curtain drops as the ending starts to begin. There's no debate, there's no escape, there's just no way that we can win. Seductive weather, deadly trap. Once we're in, there's no way back. Enticing, appealing, the moment is fleeting. Beguiling, misleading, the spider needs feeding. A sudden chill, a bitter pill, as the ending starts to begin. Struggle in vain, nothing will change. There's just no way that we can win. Your face spins, sail being no doubt. Once we're in, there's no way out. The music stops, the curtain drops as the ending starts to begin. There's no debate, there's no escape, there's just no way that we can win. Seductive, whoever deadly trap. Once we're